What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, everybody? It's been a while since I've been here because I had some other shit going on in my life, but that shit ain't going on no more. And I'm here and I'm there and I'm everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? This is Kattphish. You are now in the Phish Bowl with Kattphish, and we are live streaming right now on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Um, I didn't really have anything planned to talk about. I just wanted a few things to touch on real quick, and then I'll be out your hair. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna bother you or whatever for too long. First of all, as much as I love my HBCUs, all of them except Jackson State, as much as I love all of my HBCUs, sometimes they get on my nerves, right? Sometimes they get on my nerves because they don't do what they say they're going to do, right? And what I mean simply is on Labor Day weekend, the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State University are going to be traveling to Nashville, Tennessee to play Tennessee State at the Nissan Stadium in the John A. Merritt Classic. The John A. Merritt Classic, the game had already been finalized back in late December, early January. You go to the John A. Merritt website, and the John A. Merritt website says that the tickets for the game will go on sale in February of 2024. This year, February had an extra day. This year, February had 29 days because we are now in a leap year. And I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I said, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, the tickets will go on sale on February 29th. February 29th has come and gone. March the 1st rolls around. No tickets. April the 1st rolls around. No tickets for sale. We are now at April the 18th, and there are no tickets that are currently on sale for the John A. Merritt Classic to be held between Mississippi Valley and Tennessee State. Why is that? I have no idea. But we got to do better. We as a collective, we have to do better. You can't sit there and tell us that stuff is going to be on sale and at this time frame, if the tickets are supposed to be on sale in February of 2024, at the very least, I expect on February 29th, because it's a leap year, I expect at the very least on February 29th that I should be able to log on to Ticketmaster and go and purchase tickets. It is now April the 18th. This shit is ridiculous. But it is also customary, sadly, it is customary for what is the norm when you're dealing with shit that happens at an HBCU. We, as a collective, have to do better. Those of you that are watching me on Facebook and on YouTube, please like the video. And for those of you that are watching me on Instagram, I have two different screens going up so that I can see all of your comments and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you for watching, right? But I'm still just venting right now because, again, if your website says something, you need to honor what your website says. You need to honor what your website says. Now, for those of you that are following me on Facebook, I'm wearing this shirt right now. Let me show you my shirt. Let me move the microphone so you can see it clearly. All right. This shirt was designed by a young man, right? And let me go to Facebook so that I can get his name proper, because I don't want to misquote or anything like that. His name on Facebook is Carl Black Ice Page. Carl Black Ice Page is a graphic artist, and he designed this for me for my photography business. I took the design and then I took it and I put it on a T-shirt. If you are in need of any graphic artist work, please go to Facebook, look him up. That's CARL space Black Ice, one word. Last name Page, Page. Make sure you go check him out. He gonna do you right. He did me right. He's gonna do you right. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on in the world. Ms. Wilkins, what's happening? I don't want you to think I'm over here ignoring you. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm noticing everything that's going on, right? But there's a lot of stuff that's been going on lately. And one of the things that's been going on is we're just looking at the despairingly large differences in pay between the WNBA rookies and the NBA rookies, right? We just recently had the WNBA draft, and the WNBA draft this year was phenomenal because college basketball, at least from the women's side, has been sensational, right? With all of the big names that have been making headlines in the WNBA. We are sure that the WNBA should see some really, really, really good action next year, right? But then the reports come out about what these women are making on an annual basis. And it is upsetting to know that some of these women are going to grow up in these respective cities that they got drafted to and become the faces of their respective franchises. And these women are making no more than $76,000 a year as a rookie, as the face of their respective league of teams. And at first I was upset about that. And I'm still upset about it. Caitlin Clark is going to make in her first year $76,000. There are people that are going to be living in some neighborhoods in Indianapolis that ride the bus to go to work every day. And some of these people are making $76,000 a year. Angel Reese is going to Chicago. Angel Reese is making like $63,000, $64,000 a year. I'm sorry, she's making a little more than that, 67. Right? If we're looking only at, now let me say this. If we're looking only at their annual salaries as a professional ball player, most of these people are not going to afford to be able to live the lifestyle that they should be accustomed to living based off of the annual salary. Right? Meanwhile, I'm going to butcher his name, but Victor, I'm not going to even try to pronounce his last name. The rookie that's in San Antonio. This guy made $500 million in his rookie year. $50 million. I'm sorry, $50 million in his rookie year. Right? He can do just wonderful things with that $50 million. He doesn't have to. If he were playing in Indianapolis, and I know Indianapolis kind of well because I used to live there. But if he were playing in Indianapolis, he was playing with the Pacers and making $50 million a year in his first year. He doesn't have to live on the west side of Naptown. Caitlin Clark, with just her annual salary, could barely live on the west side of Indianapolis. Now, don't get it twisted. These women are going to get some endorsement deals, and those endorsement deals are going to compensate for the lack of pay that they're getting from the WNBA. But every person that plays in the WNBA is not going to get an extravagant endorsement deal. Just like every player in the NBA is not going to get an extravagant endorsement deal. What is the solution to the problem, though? Well, I think that things are going to change this year with the WNBA. And the changes that I foresee taking place are simple. There's going to be more interest in the WNBA because of the big names that are coming into the league. There are going to be some changes because people are going to have more interest in it. But I propose a different solution. But before I get to the solution, let's get to parts of the problem, right? One part of the problem is that we as consumers, we don't support the WNBA as we should, myself included. The WNBA has always been filled with some of the greatest talent in women's basketball, but we don't go to the games. We don't buy the merchandise. And because we don't go to the games won't even play on television in the market in which the team plays. I live here in Metro Atlanta. I am not a fan of any team that plays in the state of Georgia. But during baseball season, I can almost always catch a Braves game on TV. During football season, I can almost always catch a Falcons game or a Georgia Bulldogs game. During basketball season, I can almost always catch a Hawks game on TV. But during basketball season, I don't recall ever seeing a WNBA game on the television. We have to start supporting the teams in the respective markets by going to the games, right? I've been to a few games myself, but by my admission, I am not a huge basketball fan. I am much more of a football fan than I am a basketball fan. Basketball that ain't my shit. But with all of that being said, I do have a proposal. And again, before I get to my proposal, let's look at all of the problems. In 2023, the total profit of the WNBA let's not look at the WNBA. The total profit of the NBA was 4.1 billion. I'm sorry, billion. That's with a B. $4.1 billion. That's not counting a little over $1 billion in NBA endorsements. We're not talking about player endorsements. We're talking about NBA, right? Now, when you compare that to the WNBA, the WNBA's total profits for that same time period was 200 million. 200 million does not compare to $4.1 billion. Let me say that again. $200 million does not compare to $4.1 billion. So there's a huge discrepancy there. Let's look at one other thing before I look at a solution. The WNBA is currently owned by the NBA. Let me say that again for the motherfuckers that's way in the back. The WNBA is owned by the NBA. Now, let me come up with a solution to the problem. Now, some of you may not like the solution, but I don't hear you talking about trying to fix the discrepancies and shit like that. But here's what I'm proposing. In every market that has both a WNBA and an NBA team, we raise the prices of the NBA tickets. Right? We raise the prices of the NBA tickets. And we raise the prices of the NBA tickets by, say, $50, right? We raise the prices of the NBA tickets by $50. And we schedule the WNBA and the NBA games on the same day on that same ticket. The $50 extra would go to the WNBA. So if your nosebleed seats is $20, they're now $70. Right? That $50 now goes to the WNBA. If your courtside seats are something ridiculous, I don't even know. The courtside is just ridiculous. But let's just say the courtside tickets for the fucking Charlotte Hornets, if those courtside seats are $1,000, what's another $50? And that $50 goes to the WNBA team, right? Now, if your WNBA team is playing in a market that has no NBA team, we have to figure something out for that, right? But at the very least, now we're pouring money into the WNBA by utilizing on the capitalizing, I should say, on the popularity of the NBA, right? We are now capitalizing on the popularity of the NBA and financing the WNBA so that they can have more capital to be able. How you doing, Ms. Barber? How you doing over there? To be able to pour money into the WNBA. Now, there are going to be times where the WNBA games are going to have more of an impact than the NBA games. And on those particular games, what we need to do is we need the WNBA games to be the headliner and let the NBA games be the opener. Right? It doesn't matter if, let's say I buy the ticket. If I buy the ticket and I'm here in Atlanta and the Atlanta Hawks are playing the Lakers, if the Atlanta Hawks are playing the Lakers, then I get to also get a ticket to the Atlanta Dream and the LA Sparks. I think it's the Sparks, right? But if I decide to go to only the Hawks Lakers game, the WNBA has already gotten their money because that was included in the price of the ticket. So it doesn't matter if no one shows up to watch the women's game because at this point, the money is already allocated. The money is already allocated. We have to find a way to fund the WNBA because there's no way that someone as good as Angel Reese or as good as Caitlin Clark or as good as any of these other people that got drafted in the first round are making no more than $76,000 a year. Some of the people that are watching and will watch the replay are making more than that. And they work at the post office. Some of these people are making more than that, and they are garbage men. And there's nothing wrong with working at the post office. There's nothing wrong with being a garbage man. But when I'm the garbage man or I'm the postal worker, I am not the face of the post office. I'm not the face of trash. These women, Angel Reese is going to be the face for a while of Chicago in terms of women's basketball, and she's guaranteed to make no more than $65,000 a year. Get the fuck out of here with that. That makes absolutely no sense. We have to bridge the gap between the women's pay and the men's pay. We can't do that if the women's league is only bringing in $200 million a year. Meanwhile, the NBA this past year made $4.1 billion. Now, if you look at things from a percentage standpoint, yeah, it's comparable. It's comparable. But is it fair? You have to look at things from a different perspective. Let's look at it this way, right? Okay. Everyone understands how the education system works, right? Everyone understands how the education system works. You go to your shit that you do in grade school and high school, that shit don't even count. The shit that you do in your first 2 years of your undergraduate in college, that shit don't count because everybody's taking the same shit. But once you get into your junior year, you are now going into your specialized training for your degree. So those 2 years count. Then you get your degree. And then you do 2 more years of your master's. And then you get yet another degree. So now we're looking at 4 years of formal training towards 2 degrees that's going to allow you to theoretically make the money that you need to make to substantiate you and your family, to set up you and your family. Ball players are different, though. Their formal training starts. Let's look at baseball. Their formal training starts at Little League. Most people play Little League 19 years old. So from 10 years old to 18, that's 8 years. That's just getting you out of high school. Then you go 4 years of college. Right? So 8 plus 4 is 12. You have 12 years of training without having made it to the pros. You have 8 years. Meanwhile, everyone else, your regular person, has 4 years of training. The same could be said for Angel Reese. The same could be said for Caitlin Clark. These women started playing basketball at a very early age. They played AAU basketball. They played Pee Wee basketball. Then they played JV. Then they played varsity. Then they went to college. And then they go pro. So you're looking at Pee Wee, you're looking at JV, you're looking at varsity, you're looking at 12 years that these people have invested their lives towards a sport, towards honing and just making their craft the best that it could be made. And then you reward these women by giving them chump change. That's bullshit. Look at LeBron. LeBron did the same thing, except he didn't even go to college. And look at how much money he made before he even got on the NBA court. This motherfucker got $100 million endorsement deal from Nike. He had stepped 1 foot on the damn basketball court, the NBA court, and he made this kind of money. But these women don't deserve the money simply because they're women. That's some bullshit. And you know it's some bullshit. But, you know, it is what it is, right? So, again, if we take the WNBA teams that have an NBA team in their market raise the price for the tickets, that extra money goes to the WNBA, and that way they build the capital so that they can start to pay the people what they're worth for all of the training that they have done for perfecting their craft to the point to make it to the professional league in the United States. So many of these women, they play for chump change. So many of these women play for chump change, and then when the season is over with, they're forced to go play overseas and play in Europe and play in all these other leagues. They go to Canada and play. They go play in Russia and all this stuff. And then you have the situation that happened with Brittany Griner. She wouldn't have been over that had you handsomely paid her what she was worth. Had you done that from the beginning, it would not have been an issue. But look where we are now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is some BS, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, what we have to really truly look at is we have to find ways to pour money into the WNBA. We have to start going to these games. We have to start purchasing the merchandise. You know what I mean? The same things that we do for the NBA, we need to do for the WNBA. When these players get these endorsement deals and they get their own shoes, we need everybody to go out and buy these goddamn shoes. We need y'all to do that. For the betterment of the WNBA, we need you all to do that. Okay? And I'm going to get off my soapbox with that shit. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Right? Because I could talk about that shit all day. Right? But, again, I want to say to y'all again that this shirt, again, like I said earlier in the episode, this shirt, if you go to Facebook, right? You go to Facebook, type in Carl Black Ice page, and tell them that you saw this design in the Phish Bowl with Kattphish. Hit his inbox up. Let him make something for you that you will be able to enjoy. There are so many people that's out here that have businesses that are entrepreneurs that don't have the proper marketing. They don't have anything that stands out that lets their potential clients know that they are in business. Reach out to him. Let him do you something. Let him hook you up. He hooked me up. He also hooked me up. I don't know if you can see this right here. This is a tattoo that I have. It says Kattphish, right? But he actually drew that. And let me put this up on the screen right quick. You heard me? So the that right there, the actual Kattphish, he drew that. And then I took it and I made it a tattoo. And he drew that years ago. But I got it as a tattoo. Right? Reach out to him. Call Black Ice page on Facebook. Jump in his inbox. Let him know that I sent you and tell him what you want. He can make your vision a reality. You know what I mean? And with all of that being said, I am going to do a better job of making sure that I am here on a regular basis. So, with that being said, I shall see each and every one of you next week, right? Next week, I will be here. And until then, I will catch you all later.